Good morning. It's Wednesday, February 23rd, and I'm Diana Wong with While You Were Sleeping. Let's start the day with a joke. How many bankers does it take to change an incandescent light bulb? Well, let's start counting. One to take out the light bulb and drop it. Another to try to sell it before it crashes, knowing that it's already burned out. A third to claim it as equity. A fourth to create a futures market on fluorescent light bulbs. A fifth to package it into a security. And a sixth to buy that security and then sell it to another banker for 10 times more than what he bought it for, and the rest of the global financial community to continue and give merit to this fraud. Now, there's only one problem with this joke, in that it's not a joke. And the people left to pay for these elaborate crimes are the population, through forced bailouts, austerity, and the systematic takedown of their economy over recent decades. Now, up through the recent period, most of the global population have been rather quiet about this injustice. But the tides have changed. And as we see from the revolts in North Africa, in the Middle East, to Ibero-America in the United States, the whole world has gone Egypt. As if called to duty to defend their dignity as human beings and sovereign rights to a future, the populations of the world, regardless of race or geography, are impulsed to destroy the forces which have robbed them of their human rights. Now this, as Lyndon LaRouche and Buso President Helga Zepp-LaRouche has highlighted in recent weeks, marks a great moment of opportunity for patriots here and abroad to do all they can to catapult the political measures and ideas needed to end the monetary system of our common enemy, notably the British Empire and its inter-alpha banking system, with the Glass-Steagall Act, to then lay the foundations for a global economic recovery, starting with the NAWAPA and NAWAPA Extended projects, developmental projects which will serve to restore the human dignity and creativity lost to most human beings under the system of free trade and globalization. And the opportunity is ours to take, if we choose to take it. Right now, across the globe, among the numerous protests in opposite ends of the world, is also a strong sense of solidarity among the international citizenry, from various nations declaring public support for other nations' mass protests, to Egyptians purchasing pizza to be delivered to the protesters at the state capital of Wisconsin. In Germany, which has up till now, with the exception of the Buso Party, produced only a handful of articles on the situation in Wisconsin and Ohio, suddenly, the Freiburg-based Badische Zeitung today writes a prominent piece about the protests in Freiburg's sister city, Madison, against the governor, noting that for several days now, up to 100,000 people have been gathering in the capital of Wisconsin and in other cities to protest against Republican Governor Scott Walker. That in Freiburg's sister city, all signs point to revolution. In the sunshine icy cold, you can spot thousands of people continuously marching around the Capitol. Mothers with baby strollers and dogs, pensioners, students and teachers, doctors and state employees, waving protest pickets and loudly voicing their demands. While inside the Capitol building, a peaceful sit-in demonstration is taking place, which, at every evening's closing hour, dissolves and resumes again promptly the next morning at 6 a.m. All of this continues to grow every day, even as Governor Walker threatens to deploy the National Guard. Now in France, according to our European correspondents, there has been broad coverage of the protests of the United States, with some going even beyond reporting on the mere events to drawing parallels between the situation in Wisconsin to that of the recent takedown of the Mubarak regime in Egypt. This is all just indicative of the opportunity we have before us. With the release of the Federal Crisis Inquiry Commission report, we've gained a stronghold. And that, combined with the policies asserted by Lyndon LaRouche in the context of this global mass strike, we can win. We just got to do the work and make the commitment to fight for a future. Take, for example, what our friends in Denmark were able to accomplish. As we reported in yesterday's morning report, there is now a popular majority in the Danish parliament in support of convening their own Angelides-style investigation. So the time is nigh to think and act like an individual, like a patriot. With that, I'd like to leave you with an uplifting excerpt from the latest joint statement written by our LaRouche 6 candidate slate, titled "The Global Mass Strike Demands Glass-Steagall." Enjoy, and stay tuned for Lyndon LaRouche on The Weekly Show later today. The founding principles of this nation were always intended to represent all humanity, and, being self-evident, are now appearing as if spontaneously, but in truth lawfully, as a response to decades of destructive policies around the globe. As Hamilton wrote in The Farmer Refuted, "The sacred rights of mankind are not to be rummaged for among old parchments or musty records. They are written, as with a sunbeam, in the whole volume of human nature, by the hand of divinity itself." Our government, created as an institution of the people, must be a vehicle of those interests again, instead of a defender of a British imperial system. As this system has been clearly demonstrated by the FCIC report to have caused the collapse of the entire world's economy, if we continue to cut our own throats in order to defend it, now, we are not morally fit to survive.